Well, hey, it's Kelly with the Way We Go 2.0, and we are at Chester Frost Park, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've got our neighbor Terry here, and has some very unique stories that we wanted to share with you guys. We passed it on the other day on the Facebook page, and so here's that interview. Terry, I'll let him tell you about himself, but he was worked in the sheriff's department here and around the Chattanooga area, and just kind of want to talk to him about his story, how they got into camping and stuff. But more importantly, I want him to tell us about his big brother, former Marine, Viet Nam era guy, and just a very unique story. So tell us about yourself, Terry.
Sure. I worked for the local sheriff's office, retired in 2015. And from 2009 to 2015, I was over the training division in that sheriff's office here locally. Once I retired, I got tired of sitting around the house, so I went to work for another local sheriff's office, and been there ever since 15.
Well, so you're native of the Chattanooga area, or what, transplant, or one of the local guys?
No, I was born just south of Chattanooga in North Georgia, and lived in that area all my life.
Well, Terry's got, I told you when I first saw Terry, he has a POW MIA truck tag on his truck, and I thought I was like, oh hey, of course I'm a veteran, and I was like, oh hey, how you doing? What branch were you in, and all that. And he said, well, really I wasn't. It was for my brother. It's in honor of my brother, and so he went into. Started sort of telling me the story of his big brother. So, camping aside, it's been a crappy, the whole weekend has been pretty crappy weather, and it's going to get worse, actually. So we hoped to get some, in fact, you can see some clouds up there behind us, getting a little rowdy. But anyway, we'd hoped to have a nice, bright, sunny place to do it. But, you get what you get when you go camping. So anyway, I'm going to shut up and give the mic to Terry, and let him tell us about his big brother.
My big brother, his name was Joe. He was drafted into the Marine Corps in 1966. He went from Parris Island, South Carolina, straight to Viet Nam, nonstop. So, and I was just a little guy then, and Mother and Dad used to communicate with him, by letter or by cassette tape. One of the two. They had cassette tapes they could send back and forth. And
I forgot about this story too. This is a pretty cool story as well. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there were the little small cassette players. They could get them evidently, and Mother would send them cassette tapes from home, and then he would send them back. One in particular cassette tape was they were all doing what Marines do, and they were actually playing music, and ended up getting fired upon, and we had that recording of that incident with him in the Marine Corps. Secondary.
So you guys hear the firefight and the incoming everything on the cassette. It wasn't staged. I mean, they were literally attacked as he was doing the recording. So
exactly. Secondary to that, I guess. Joe has now passed away. My brother's passed away. They think it's secondary to Agent Orange. He became missing while he was in the Marine Corps and in Vietnam. And some officials from the Marine Corps came to the house, and they said, "Well, he's KI. He killed in action." And of course, mother and dad were devastated. I was just a young kid then, and they were devastated, of course. And then I guess it was a couple of months, 3 months later, they came back and they said, "Well, we don't think he's killed in action. We think he's just missing in action." Well, Dad's kind of high strung, you know. Y'all need to get it together and figure out what's going on here. That's my son.
Yeah.
And then later on, like I explained to you, we had the little phone table with the rotary phone sitting in the living room, and the phone rang one night about 11 o'clock, right after the 11 o'clock news, and my mom goes and answers the phone. It was my brother.
Wow.
He had somehow gotten out and got to the phone and called home. But he stayed.
At the time you guys got the call?
He'd been missing in Viet Nam 11 months. 11 months. Him and one other guy stayed missing in Vietnam, and so that was a pretty big story for us, you know. And of course, he came home, and it was great. He got shot. He got busted up pretty good, but still, even the fact he came home, he had some major health issues after the fact due to the Agent Orange exposure. But and in 2000, he passed away.
Wow.
And it's a sad day.
Yeah.
Sad day. And that's why I wear the tag on my truck. It's in honor of my brother and any other, missing in action people out there. They will not be forgotten as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And just recently there was a, I don't know if it's the Pentagon or the VA is considering assigning Agent Orange to a number of other elements that are coming about. I know I'm not saying it right, but anyway, they think there are other illnesses, ailments, diseases that could be attributed to Agent Orange as well. So if you are a veteran, there's a lot of veteran Facebook pages that are out there from Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, Korea, all of it. Things like PTSD and Agent Orange and other things. Those are not things to kid around with. If you don't feel right, if you have a relative that doesn't, maybe they're not acting right, that, it's okay to say, hey, Bob, Jane, Joe, let's talk about this. If they want to talk, they'll talk. If they don't, move on. But keep your family in mind, because a lot of folks are going through some tough times. But just don't be afraid to ask. If you think you need help, if you think if something's not right, you don't feel right, nobody knows your body better than you do. So if you don't feel right, you don't look right, or you got something growing on your leg that wasn't there before or whatever, get it checked out. Take advantage of those things that were offered to you. But
one thing we found in the past, and doing a lot of research on the military guys and what have you, was that the military guys are tight-knit folks.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what those guys went through except other military guys.
Yeah.
So that is why it's so hard for the military guys to come out in the open and talk to someone. Yeah. So find your buddies, find your friends, talk to those guys. They'll help you out. And I understand that fully, because I don't know what the guys went through. I don't know what they did. And, so they don't want to talk to me about it, and I fully respect that and understand it. However, find your buddies, find some folks that it's got some common ground, and talk to those guys.
Yeah. Can I tell you, Terry had told me the other day, he said, I'm not much of a people person. He said, but he and I kind of clicked. We stood out there and shot the breeze, because I think it was pretty windy that day too, but, and made a connection. I have an uncle that passed away from Agent Orange, as well. And so, guys went over there and fought the fight, and